Hello, good afternoon everyone. Hope you're all well. Right, apologies if you saw me go live a minute ago. Edith wanted me and I was already fumbling on my words and I can't remember the last time I had to delete a live that I'd done because it was just so terrible. But yeah, so I've been inspired by the amazing, beautiful Sarah Bogg, who I partnered with last year. I've known Sarah for like 7 years. She's been in the industry for a long time as well, but in different companies. And then she wanted to partner with myself. She wanted me to be her mentor and to, she was already going to use the nutritional products anyway for her own health and wellness. And then something clicked for her. She started having loads of success. Anyway, she did an amazing live and it was really inspiring, and she's inspired me to come on and to talk about something which is quite vulnerable. It's something that I wouldn't ordinarily share, so I'm going to do it anyway. I'm very conscious of the that I'm saying. One thing that I do tell people is when you do this business and when you show up on social media, you've got to be yourself and you've got to be your perfectly imperfect self, and that is absolutely fine. If you're expecting somebody to be speaking who's really polished, then I'm not really polished, especially when it's something which is not scripted. It is something that is coming from my heart, and I want to talk about how we have all these opportunities everywhere. We have access to training, mentorship, you can learn new skills, and this can relate to any areas of your life. If you want to find the answer to something, you don't necessarily have to go and find a particular expert in person. You've got social media, you've got the internet. It's not always a good thing, but what I'm saying is there are all these opportunities. If there's something in your life that you don't like, you can at least get inspiration from somebody on the online space. So even if it's like, you want to start a new hobby, but you don't know what to do or where to go, you can go on the internet, you can go on social media, you can find communities of other like-minded people who you can take inspiration from, get guidance from, support, find community, all those things. If you're wanting a solution to a particular health problem, there are lots of people who you can go to and get real advice. There are loads of forums, and then they will advise different products or some things to look for, and you can educate yourself. This is where we are in a time, an era where we can self-educate ourselves, and some people choose not to, and we can empower ourselves as well, and again some people choose not to. I'm going to talk a little bit about my own personal story and something that I haven't shared before. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to divulge too much information because it's nobody else's business but mine. But what I will say is I shared something a couple of days ago about protecting your circle and how within your circle of influence, what was it? I can't remember. It was really good. It's like some people could be in your circle, but they're not in your corner. That's it. So you may have people in your circle that are not in your corner. And I think especially as, not necessarily just as a woman, because I'm sure men have this as well. When you've got those inner voices, mine in particular started getting very noisy and not very nice when I had postnatal depression after Sophia. And it was an uphill struggle trying to overcome them voices in my head, particularly when there was people around me who were in that circle of influence who didn't understand why I was doing particular things, such as getting up early in the morning, listening to Tony Robbins, taking Prozac and then weaning myself off Prozac, those sorts of things, and just things that you do to improve yourself. Not everybody's going to understand it, and sometimes you'll find that as you grow, you grow apart or you grow closely, and this could be with friendships, relationships, all sorts of different things. Anyway, if we fast forward to now, because Sophia is 11 next month, I still have those inner voices, and I still have an external voice as well, and it's caused me to reflect actually, because I've become quite adept at filtering out those voices from people. Some people you just can't cut out your life. Sometimes those voices, you say to them like, okay, that's not helpful, I'm not listening, or what I used to say a long time ago is like, there's nothing you can say that will dull my sparkle, and I would just crack on anyway. But you shouldn't have to do that. But I think it's also quite good when you have got those outside voices, whether they are negative or not, that you take that time to listen to them and think, is there an element of truth? But also put them through a bullshit filter and think, are they speaking absolute BS? And one of the topics of conversation came up was to do with money and bring money into the house, and it brought up a lot of different things. So you'll see, because I share it and people will tag me in it, that I'm having a lot of success in my network marketing business, in my pharmacy business. It's going really, really well. When I have a look, I am very, very critical, because although I can see where there's loads of successes and I'm really excited for those, there are other elements where I'm like, right, that is what I need to work on. This is where I need to have growth. How can I best support this person? They're not where they wanted to be. What can I do to support them? And that's what I do. And I think that's normal. That comes as part of leadership, and it's something that I'm working on myself in developing, and that only comes with actually getting into action. And when you have any sort of like challenges or adversity in your business, that's when you know that, you know, you're doing something about it. You're actually in business. If you've got no problems with your business, then have you really got a business? Is it growing? Is it just stagnating? So I am super critical of it. But in a positive way, because hi Alison, I'm always looking at ways in which I can give back, pour into it, and help it flourish. But sometimes when you work for yourself, you have external factors which are going to be influences, and it's not necessarily circumstantial influences, it's things that get into your psyche, into your mindset. And after 11 years in the business, one thing that I have worked on consistently is my mindset. And having this particular conversation, shall I call it, recently, it really got me thinking. So alongside these 10, almost 11 years that I've been in the network marketing industry, I've also been raising babies. One of the reasons why I found it so attractive is that I could earn enough money to get my nails done without actually having to leave the home. But then when you get to a point where you see other people having incredible success, uninhibited success, where there's just no upper limit, you dream a massive dream, and then you need to multiply it by 20, and then you're still not close to what is actually capable within this. It is absolutely crazy. So over those 11 years, my dream went from it being a stopgap whilst I decided what I wanted to do with my law degree, what I wanted to do after I'd had Sophia and got back into the workspace and all of that sort of stuff. That when you meet someone and like, oh, what do you do? They're not like, oh, what do you do on a daily basis? They're like, let me just get an idea and judge you and define you on what it is that you do on a daily basis. Like, how are you contributing economically? It's those sorts of questions, you know, when you have a catch up with someone and like, oh, what are you up to now? Oh yeah, I'm working. That's what they're asking, like, where do you work? How much money are you earning? What's your life like, in those sorts of terms? And it's bizarre. But the last 10, 11 years, I have been able to raise 4 babies, they're no longer babies, and focus on myself and have that personal growth, but also contribute financially to my home. And I don't think it's always appreciated, and it's something that I've been able to fight against for a while now. But then every now and then you get to a point and you do question yourself, and you think, oh, have I done the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? One of the points that was raised is that I'm unqualified. I've got no qualifications other than a law degree, and prior to that 13 years retail experience and retail management experience, that I need to provide, that I need to what's the words? Pay my way. That was the one. And usually, you know, when these conversations happen, you can just shut off and you think, you know, it's absolute rubbish, but you can't help it. You know, you're gonna have that introspective moment where you think, right, well, what's going on? And so I was thinking, right, I'll go and get that was it, grown-ups. Other grown-ups have a job. I mean, how condescending and patronising is that? Like, nothing I've done over these past 10 years has mattered. All that time I've spent raising my children, being there when they're ill, going to sports days, being here when they come home, making sure that they've got food. Yeah, the house is sometimes a mess. Sometimes I'm forgetful. But being able to do that, be there as a parent, as a mum, and this is something that I chose, and I knew it was a sacrifice. I could have had a lucrative legal career, and it is a sacrifice, but it's something that I chose, and it's something that I believed in, and this conversation I had caused me to question everything that I have done and everything I stand for and everything I'm doing, and that's frustrating, because nobody should have that power over making me feel that way. I always said, like, when Edith, well, I said when Leonard and Safi actually, so when they got old enough to go to school and I had those times, I would go and get a part-time job, because the money I was earning before in network marketing was a couple of £100 a month, maybe £500 a month. Sometimes in dribs and drabs, sometimes the bonuses, like that monthly bonus wasn't a massive amount. It was like, I always thought, right, well, my basic when I worked at part-time at Ferns View was £466 a month. I remember that because I also remember that my childcare was £400. And, you know, I was a single parent for a little while, so I got some help towards childcare. And it's a good job because I would have been going to work just to pay for my child to go to nursery, and then I'd have nothing left. Like, that's just absolutely crazy. Anyway, I'm losing track of what I'm saying, but it's fine. I'll figure out what I was saying. So when I had Edith, I'm thinking, right, okay then, am I supposed to wait another 3-4 years until she's in nursery? It gets expensive. You know, these conversations have cropped up before, and I've had a look at it. Wraparound care, getting Leonard and Safi into, and Harry at the time as well, going to morning club, breakfast club, after school club. That all costs money. I genuinely don't know how some people do it. Like, they must be paying for that wraparound care just to go to work. Unless, like, you know, you've got a really high-powered career, or you've got grandparents that can help out and loads of other people that can help support you with, like, childcare and things. It's just so expensive. And I've talked about this for 10 years. And I've had conversations with people because I see people struggling. I know that they're struggling. I've been there before. Going and doing a food shop in Aldi, and which is very good on price, and having to calculate how much things are costing, thinking, have you got enough money at the end of it? And then having to go back pretending that you've forgotten something because you want to go and get, like, a bottle of Prosecco for yourself. And you think, have I got enough for, like, a £6-7 bottle of Prosecco for myself? Do you know, I've been in, like, those positions before. So when I have a conversation, when I show up on social media, when I reach out to people, and particularly women, when I'm talking to them about female financial freedom and empowerment and earning additional income for themselves, it really, really cuts deep. I never ever wanted 10 years ago to, like, when I had Safi, to ask for permission to get my nails done. And I never have. I mean, I'm sure if I asked Rob, will you pay for me to have my nails done? He'd pay for me to have my nails done, but I never wanted to do that. It's not like I'm incapable of working, or unable, unwilling, or stupid. You know, I'm an intelligent person. I could go and and apply myself to anything I'll do well. And again, thinking about this moment of reflection I've had recently, I've spent 10, nearly 11 years in this industry learning. I've been a student. I didn't have to pay for all of I didn't have to pay like my law degree. I get a letter every year saying I owe like 40 grand or something, and it just keeps going up. It's crazy. I'll start paying that back soon, maybe. I've not had to like invest ridiculous amounts of money or anything like that, but I have applied myself and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I've grown in confidence massively. Developed my own style as a leader, which is still a work in progress. How to serve people. I worked at Ferns View for like 13 years, so I know how to, build up a rapport with customers. I love it. I love working with people and helping solve their problems. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into law naively, so that I could be a voice for those people who need a voice and represent them and help them when they really need it. And that was naive. Anyone that's got a law degree will know what I'm talking about. Employment law, family law. Jesus, you only need to look at like the disparity with pay within gender. So we work diverse. I work get too distracted with that. So when I found network marketing, it ticked so many boxes, because there are so many women who are ordinary women living extraordinary lives. I know it sounds cliche, but they are. They don't have the formal qualifications, or some of them do. Some of them are teachers or professional teachers. Some of them are nurses. Some of them are head teachers. I'm trying to think of actual people that I have, that I know. And they're incredible, but they see an opportunity here where they can raise their babies and do what they want to do as mums, whilst also bringing in not just a part-time income, not even just a full-time income. They are completely changing and redesigning their whole entire family's lives and building a legacy, something that they can pass on to their children, and not just financially, but like that work ethic as well. And that is powerful. This is what this industry is doing. It is creating a place, a community, and I'm talking about the entire industry, not just with pharmacy, but this is something that I am really wanting to bring in more so within like our own community. Is you've got all these women who, regardless of whether they're chosen to have children or not, but I'm talking about mothers here particularly, whether they've chosen to go out and continue their traditional careers or have jobs and raise their babies or not, they are given an opportunity here where they can expand upon their own personal skills. They can have that personal growth. They can learn new skills. They can flex entrepreneurial muscles, or they can just be, they can find another way in which they can serve their community, their peers, the people that they want to speak to, and how they can help them, and they can bring in an additional income. And I think it's absolutely fantastic that they have that. Right, I did say that it was going to be a little bit vulnerable, not something I normally talk about. And so you can tell I'm getting a little bit upset, and I'm getting all cold and shaky, and I'm not cold and I'm not shaky, and I'm just a little bit disappointed in myself that I let those words hit me so much. But I'm also grateful, because you'd better believe that I'm a strong, firm believer that when you go through any sort of challenges or any sort of adversity, you owe it to, never mind owing it to other people to help them through it. Yes, you've got like some sort of moral obligation for that. But you owe it to yourself to push through regardless. When you have all these opportunities around you, how can you just exist? How can you just do the bare minimum? Like I just cannot accept it. I will not accept it. Just because somebody sees something in a particular way, just because they don't see your true value, because I don't feel like they see my true value, doesn't mean that I don't know that my value is there, and that I can't still, I'm going to use that as fuel. 100%. I wrote loosely some goals for 2026 on New Year's Eve. I delivered some training on having like powerful anchors and how to work out some mission statements for like, you know, how you're going to plan and strategize for the next 12 months. All of that needs ripping up, absolutely needs ripping up, because I think this conversation I've had needs to happen. I've just thought I'll go and have a look on my earnings on my pharmacy account, and I'll tell you this information, but please know that as a disclaimer, I've been in this industry for nearly 11 years now. When I joined, I did extraordinary, I had a massive, strong launch, which I'm still reaping the results of now. I'm still reaping the rewards of now. That was like nearly 2 years. I've been with pharmacy nearly 2 years. Like next month, it'll be my 2-year anniversary. Oh, God, I am shivering, and I'm not even cold. Right, just having a little moment. Yeah, I'm just looking at those figures, and do you know what? It's phenomenal. I am really, really proud of myself. 2 years ago, I can see it now, I had a mission, a purpose. I wrote these things down, and before I listened to the CEO's talk, corporate talk about pharmacy, I thought, this is what I want. This is how I want to. This is what I want to build. This is what I want it to fulfill. Does pharmacy tick these boxes? And as I was listening, I was like, yeah. So I had a strong emphasis on. I can't even read it. Let me grab it. Right. Oh. Right. Building a community within the UK, helping people to earn money, support, resources, celebration, success culture. And then another area, taking control of your life, your own energy, your passion, your health and wellness, financial freedom, time freedom. What does that look like? Being able to save, being able to invest, not counting as you do food shop. I've even got that written down. Help women earn an extra income, bills, be a yes mama. I've put here like £250 a month, like £250 a month. That was something where I thought, God, if I could earn £250 a month, that'd be amazing. And when I said to Katie, I want to be earning like £2,000 a month, I want to be earning £2,000 a month pays. She's like, right, okay. I'm thinking, I'm not going to earn that. I've been saying that for 10 years and it's not going to happen. Anyway, all these different boxes were ticked off, and I thought, you know what, I'm in the right place. I need to go for it. Absolutely go for it. And I did. I ran, and I'm still reaping those rewards now. But I have got a hell of a lot of work to put in. So I'll just tell you, I had a look, I've worked it out. If you don't include my commissions, so with pharmacy, you have online commissions which are paid if somebody orders via your website. So I've got quite a lot of customers that have got subscriptions, or that just go on my link and they order things sporadically, and I'll get paid that commission on before the 10th of the following month. And then you've got your instant commissions. So this is where somebody pays me and I place the order, and it either gets shipped direct to them or it comes to me and then I deliver it, which is great if they live close by. And you get your 30% instant commission then. So those instant commissions, you know, that goes into your bank account. I don't save those up, they just get spent. So when Harry messages and says, can I have some dinner money? There you go, there's some dinner money. If I want to go and get my nails done, I'll go and get my nails done. If I need to nip to shop to get some bread and milk, I'll nip to shop, get bread and milk. If I need fuel, I'll go and get fuel. That is coming out of my instant commissions. Excuse me, I've not even got those counted on there. Oh my God, I'm making foul noises, sorry. But I would say that my instant commissions, off the top of my head, might amount to maybe an extra £4,000 a year. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But last year I earned over £20,000. I think it's 20,220 something. Don't anyone go and tell the tax people, please. I've already done my tax return with my expenses. I'm not talking about my expenses and deductibles here. I am just talking about how much I have earned. So you're talking like 24,000. The year before, I had quite a few bonuses from when you maintain certain levels, you get a bonus. So last year I got the golden bonus, which was £1,500, plus an incredible trip to Turkey this year. The year before that, I earned the manager bonus, which was £750, plus the bronze bonus, which was another £750. So that's a lot of money. So whilst I was sat there thinking, do I want to talk about this? Do I want to share this? I thought, yeah, I do, because I also had a look at what the national average wage was for this area for women, and I just had a look at the first lot, and it was like £27,000 for full time. How would that look like for me for over this last 10 years? And that is just average. I mean, I know that if I went and had a full-time job, I wouldn't be earning £27,000. I would be pushing for those upper brackets, because it wouldn't be enough, because I know that I deserve more, that I know that I can give more, therefore I should be paid more. So I 100% believe in that. But there's only so many hours you can do. When you go in, like, look in the traditional sense, sometimes it's a really timely process, sometimes it's highly competitive. And especially when I worked in retail management, you could easily be replaced, or you were always paid the same as your peers. The men, like £10,000 more. It was ridiculous, and I was the one training them at 19, which is just absolutely crazy. Anyway, I digress. That was the word, digress. So when I think about it, I have been, this last year, I've been at home working on my business in the pockets of time that I've had, whilst trying to be present with my children, overcoming other challenges in my personal life, being there as a wife, dealing with hormones. My back is absolutely killing. I've got a severe narrowing of my L4, L5 joint, whatever it is, I don't know. Being told by doctors and gynecologists that they don't know what's wrong with you. What do you think is wrong with you? It's in your head, it's psychological. All those things for like 3 years, having to contend with that, having those inner voices, that self-doubt creeping in, having other people on social media, people who, just complete strangers, which, why should it matter, but sometimes it filters in, people who were friends, who are now no longer friends, people who are friends, people, like I said, that are within your circle but not necessarily in your corner, misunderstanding what you do. Still saying, when are you going to grow up and get a proper job? When are you going to be grown up? When are you going to contribute? When are you going to pay your way? Those sorts of comments. But yet still having a home, maintaining my mental sanity to some degree. Yeah, I have moments where I don't feel great. I think it's important to share that. It definitely is important to share that. Having kids off sick, like most of December, it was like 3 weeks back to back where they're just sick. Not sleeping properly because you've got kids that need things, getting up and down, you've got pets, you've got more pets, and all these different things going on. So I'm gonna shout myself out. I don't work full time. I don't work full time on my business. I've got boundaries in place. I will, if a team member sends me a message, particularly if it's a voice note, if I can't give them the time that they need, I'll put it as unread until I can send him a message and give him my time. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat there. So there's things that I do. I would love to be able to have to apply myself full time, like I do. Like, say if I went out to work to earn that £27,000 and was there in the workspace for 8.5 hours a day. Let's say I magically have childcare sorted. It would be great to be able to apply that amount of time to my business. But the fact of the matter is I don't. And I think it's good to share that, because a lot of people might think, oh, you're always on social media. Well, and I'm not. I might upload my stories, but my stories are there for 24 hours. But I might have put them all on in like a 20-minute space of time. Or I might have done it as I'm going along. My posts, My lives are inconsistent, which is something that I will work on. My purse, again, it's not hard. When I'm making my cup of coffee, I'm having my coffee anyway. I'm going to have my coffee and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to wake up and I'll take a picture and I'll say good morning to everybody. That's not rocket science. And I will talk to people about that coffee. Coffee is one of my best sellers, and there's no wonder why. It's like, it boosts your energy, but it doesn't make you crash. It doesn't make you jittery. And it's really good for your gut health. It's really good at suppressing your appetite. It helps support weight loss. So yeah, it's not difficult to do that. But please don't think that I work full time. I do more hours cleaning the toilets, picking up crap off the floor, cleaning the bathroom, you know, sweeping dog hairs up off the floor, the pots, all of those things, the mundane tasks that we do because we're at home. I put more hours into that. When the kids come home, it doesn't stop there, does it? You don't clock off because you've got a meal to prepare, and then you've got more cleaning, and then they're like, oh, I'm hungry, you've got to get up, or they want this, they want that. You know, you're constantly doing something and even when you get in bed, even when you're late, you put your head down and you're like, oh, to relax. Edith will be there bashing me on the head. Can I have some more milky, please, mummy? See, you're up making milk. So you do that. I 100% would agree. I do more hours as a mum and a homemaker than I do with my business. You'll never ever, I don't look at it as if it's like I should be getting paid for cleaning my home, because I'm grateful for my home. I'm not saying that at all. But I am here at home, working from home, which has its advantages and has its disadvantages, because this work can sometimes be misunderstood. But I would say last year I earned about £24,000 in the pockets of time that I had, showing up, being my perfectly imperfect self, showing products that are going to boost my energy, that are helping me maintain weight and weight loss. I've lost like over a stone. In the last 6 weeks, I've just started another 6-week challenge, because of course when you get to a point where you're like, right, okay, the kids are doing this, that's great, they're all settled, let's focus on my health and wellness, let's get into this, and then you're like, bam, perimenopause or perimenopause or whatever, like something hits you. It's like you turn 40 and then you think it's all right, but then you turn 41 and you wake up and you're like, oh, what was that? Oh, that's new. It's crazy. So yeah, here I am, perfectly imperfect, trying to balance my own sanity, working on myself physically and mentally. I need to lose weight because my back really does hurt, and I want to lose weight because I'm overweight. And yeah, I might look fantastic. I do. I'll look at pictures and I think, oh yeah, I look really good there. And that's good. It took a long time for me to be able to say that, you know, and genuinely feel it. So when you see these pictures, it's not me just being vain or anything. It's me being like, do you know what? I'm celebrating me because I look fucking amazing there. And I know that when I'm 80 years old, I'll look back and be like, oh, I wish I had a body like that. But it's still okay to think, right, okay, I need to treat it better, because chowing down at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night on chocolate bars and biscuits and whatever else crap you can inhale is not good. It's not conducive to a healthy body. And you need a healthy, strong body when you've got these huge, crazy goals that have now just quadrupled overnight, because I'm absolutely sick and tired of that particular voice that is in my circle, but absolutely not entirely in my corner. And the fact I've let it infiltrate my mind, which is a blessing as much as it is a lesson. I'm on a mission, because I know, and if anybody's watching this and if you have felt a little bit uncomfortable because you thought, you know what, I feel you've been there yourself, or you're there yourself, and I did a post last night where I was saying, look, I'm talking to those people that want more from their lives. They know that they can go out and achieve more. You've been following my journey and you've seen that I'm traveling, I'm going all over, and I'm not in cuckoo land. I'm not in some like delusional fantasy land. This has been reality for these past 2 years. I've had a phenomenal 2 years in my business, and it stemmed into my personal life as well. I've had all these different life experiences that I would not have had if it wasn't for network marketing and if it wasn't for pharmacy. I wouldn't have earned all that extra money, or all that money. It's not extra because I don't get paid for being at home doing nothing. Doing nothing. Like I'm doing nothing. Oh my God. To have earned that money without having to trade time for money, without having to sacrifice on asking for time off, for holidays, for having to work weekends. I don't have to work weekends. I don't have to go away. I'm there with my family. I get to watch all of Harry's rugby games. I get to be there to take Leonard to his rugby club when he wants to. I'm there on a Saturday if Rob goes and plays rugby, and then he's like, right, should we go out tonight? Ask Harry to babysit. Should we go out for a couple of hours? I'm there, I can do it. I'm not thinking, oh no, I've got to be up early in the morning, I'm going to be knackered or anything like that. It's those sorts of freedoms. If they're like, oh, well, Safi's got a rugby day at school, will you come and watch? She absolutely hates playing rugby. She hates watching rugby. Yeah, of course I'll go and watch, and I can be there for the duration. Sports days. Can you come in for afternoon tea with the Queen at nursery with Edith? Yeah, no dramas. I don't have to ask anyone for permission. It's those are the freedoms that I'm talking about, and those are the things that I've been able to do and have in my life, and still be here for my family, and still be here as my home. I still would not be a domestic goddess, by the way, because it's just not in me. And I'll still earn a full-time income without doing full-time hours, without going out there. But do you know what the best part is? The best part, and this is what the whole fundamentals of it and how it's worked so well and how it's going to quadruple, is because I'm doing it helping other people. And the whole live that I'm doing now is inspired by another person who was inspired by me and the way I showed up. And she knew that she could join me and that she would get that mentorship that she needed. Although she did just begin with wanting to, she was just putting a toe in and seeing what would happen. It was just more for her own personal discount. But look at her now. She's there delivering training to like thousands of people, and she was absolutely incredible. It makes me so proud. I'm just thinking of all these different people who have come along. Some have come for a little while, some are still here, they've been there for the beginning, and just seeing the growth that they have had. And I'm so grateful to have them within our organisation, because I know full well that they are offering that same sort of value. And I will never, ever, ever apologise for getting in anybody's inbox and saying to them, I have got this opportunity here which could be great for you. Are you open to taking a look? Because everything I've just talked about for however long I've been on here for, that is what I'm talking about. That is the opportunity that I am offering. It's time's going to pass anyway. And if you have the opportunity to spend it working on yourself, having that personal growth, being able to help other people find products that work and solve problems, whether it's makeup, skincare, collagen, nutrition, health, wellness, boosting people's energy, making them feel great from the inside out, and empowering them and inspiring them and taking them on your own personal journey, I will never, ever, ever apologise for offering that opportunity to somebody, and I'll never stop doing it either. Right, I think I've said everything I wanted to say and more, and I'm just really grateful for everyone's support. Thank you so much. I'm glad. I was doing my makeup and I messaged Katie and I was like, oh, I'm having an ugly day. My face is real hairy. I can't get my makeup to go on well. I'm like, I'm just having an ugly day. And then I persevered, I continued. I trusted the process, and then I had a look and I thought, aren't you silly? You're not ugly. You look lovely. You look bloody lovely. And then I've got some words up there, which actually it was for my little homemade gym that I made, my little gym area. It says, I am strong enough to lead, disciplined enough to train, wise enough to rest, and mentally grounded in my power. That is going to stay there for the duration, because that is not just about motivating me and get me in the right mindset as I work out. That is a really strong affirmation, just entirely. So yeah, that's powerful. I love that. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to go away and go for a wee. Thank you so much for your comments. Really, really means a lot. And I will speak to you all soon. Watch this space. Like, yeah, 100%.